Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and remember yesterday, guys? Remember yesterday when I was real excited to be back home and to be doing this next video from the comforts of my regular studio? Guess where I'm not? Not home. Nope, stranded in Chicago because the second flight of my two-flight journey home was canceled inexplicably. Couldn't get me home until tonight, so I'm doing this now. Didn't even have time to let my hair dry because I got to check out and do my live stream from the lobby in like an hour. So life is grand, life is great. But anyway, I couldn't wait any longer. It's been a week since I saw Spider-Man. A week, yeah. And I wanted to give you guys all my thoughts and impressions. This is going to be largely a spoiler review, but I will give my spoiler-free thoughts first. I'll let you know when I jump into spoilers, so if you have not yet seen it, you'll have an opportunity to not have it spoiled for you if you so desire. Anyway, I'm actually, this part of it is glad I kind of waited this long to do the review because my overall impression of the whole thing now, having sat with it for a week, is that it's totally forgettable. It really is completely 100% forgettable. I remember what happened because it was only a week ago, but it's not like I don't have a burning desire to ever sit down and watch it again. You know, I think like if I was with people and it was on, or they're like, I've never seen this, you want to watch it with me? If I was doing like a Marvel marathon or watching all the Spider movies, I'd throw it in there. You know, it's not a bad movie. There's nothing wrong with it. But there's nothing, I think it really very much, it's a lot, and this is kind of what I suspected that it would be, I think speculated it would be too, is in some ways an epilogue to Endgame, and also like a transitional, like how do we take those next step forwards kind of movies, so the actual substance of what goes on in the film is not so much important as it is the character development that we do with Peter Parker, which to me is the most worthwhile part of this film. I think that Peter Parker grows and develops as a person. He gets a lot more agency. Previously, he's been sort of like, well, you got these mutant powers and we threw a suit on you, and now you're one of the Avengers, you don't really know what's going on, but you just have a desire to do good. And we lost a lot of the nuance that makes Peter Parker special, you know, the fact that he is incredibly intelligent and crafty and these things. And also the Spidey sense, you know, and it's a little bit of a spoiler, sorry. Yeah, so a lot of certain elements, I think they did a nice job of growing Peter Parker as a character and making him into a character who can help carry the MCU moving forwards. That said, like Tom Holland apparently finally hit puberty as well in all of his like 25 years or whatever, however how old he is, because he actually looks physically more mature in this film. I don't know if maybe that was on purpose. Maybe you know, he worked out a little more and bulked up a little more. He looks a little bit fuller, like a little less like a boy, a little more like a man. So I don't know if that was intentional or just like maybe he finally lost his baby fat. Takes men a long time sometimes. So yeah, so that for me, that was the win. Like this movie overall is a win. There's nothing. Aside from a couple parts that I had issues with, it's not a bad movie. It's still missing some of the classic like Spider-Man-y things, which I did on the live stream I did with Jeff last week. So, you know, and he definitely knows a lot more about Spider-Man than I do. So check out his review if you want the more like the super. When you look at some of my, like I have a connection to a lot of these characters on a much more superficial level than certain other people. So in this instance, my review will give you a lot of impressions. Not necessarily like, I know everything about whatever happened in the MCU and all of the comics. So that's where I'm coming from on this. Anyway, I did learn a lot. Actually, that's one of the things I love about hanging out with other members of the Fandom Menace. I learn a lot more, too, because they all know more about me than certain things, and I know more about them than certain things. And that's why we're special. Anyway, I'm on a tangent about friendship. That's weird. So, this movie. Let's jump into the spoilers. Well, I'll give away my favorite joke from the whole damn thing, which was just, I loved it. Edith is sort of this essential piece of technology in this film, which is, even in death, I am the hero. As named by Tony Stark, of course, and I love that. And just made me crack up. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And Mysterio coming up, pretending to be a friend, gaining Peter Parker's trust, getting control of Edith to use it to stage a gigantic event, so he can be the hero. And that really, like, so the film itself, right, they start out with, like, heavy humor right in the beginning. Good old MCU, ha ha ha, let's have Iron Man's dead, let's have a bunch of laughs. And so that was like, all right, we're still funny, we're still here, and it sort of set the tone for the whole piece, which is that it was more fluffy. It was a lot more fluffy than other Spider-Man movies have been. And that was fine. We go abroad on this school trip. Ned is hilarious. MJ, I think, improves as a character. She's a lot more. She's less of a device and more of a person in this film. And I enjoyed that element and that relationship building. We do get to the point where they finally kiss and they're a thing by the end of it. Oh my god. Yeah. So then my issue. I don't know what was up. Mysterio is the weak link for me in this film. On a superficial level, they did him well as a character. With him, coming in pretending to be the good guy, actually being the bad guy. He's a disgruntled former Stark employee who wants his moment in the sun because he was treated rudely by Tony and was like, look, everyone remembers him as the hero. Now I want to be the hero. So for me, right away, that's sort of a weak motivation. Like, he's not really trying to get revenge on Tony Stark. He's just trying to be like, I can do it too. It's just sort of a sad, weak motivation. And for me, the real weak spot of the movie is when he drops the facade. So if you're familiar at all with the Spider-Man universe, you know from the get-go he's the bad guy, which I guess makes it more tolerable during his absolutely atrocious acting moments earlier on, where I'm like, did Jake Gyllenhaal just forget how to act? Because he's not selling this at all. And it doesn't read as like somebody who's being fake nice to try to win someone else over. It reads as just, you are reading lines off a paper and don't remember how acting. And then there's the whole reveal scene where it's just him at a bar with his cronies being all like, let me explain everything about my plan and how it came to be. And it's just the most didactic, expository, unnecessary dialogue. And I wanted to stab myself in the ears during the entire scene. That, for me, weak link of the movie. And then, so it's unfortunately, like, as I'm thinking back on it, the plot is sort of a little loose and unfocused at times. Like, if you take it to its bare bones, it's fine. School trip happens, Mysterio jumps in the picture, he ends up being the bad guy, Peter Parker has to go fight him. But the way it gets there is a little bit bumbling at times, and a lot of and that's the thing, is because the movie's so not focused on the plot elements, it's so focused on Peter's growth and journey and his conflict about filling Tony Stark's shoes. And I like that they're moving in a direction where Spider-Man's going to be a big part of the MCU, because I think they've done a really good job with Tom Holland's character. It does seem a little bit shallow to Peter Parker's own story that his entire, hero's journey is now centered around Tony Stark. It's kind of like, when your aunt and uncle die suddenly or murdered by stormtroopers and you're over them in 5 seconds, now your entire life's about this old wizard, That would never work. That kind of story would never work. Crack myself up. Anyway, so that happens. So that part is like, yeah, but, so it's kind of just, it doesn't have, even the final fight, which is all fine and pretty and stuff, it doesn't feel like the stakes are really there. It feels like Peter Parker's fighting for the Avengers, he's fighting for Nick Fury, he's fighting for Tony Stark, that he's not doing this for himself, and that's like the beauty of the Spider-Man movies, is the struggle of Peter against the villain, and the villain actually has a stake in him, and this villain has no stake in him whatsoever. He's not fighting this villain because this villain is his villain trying to take him down. He's fighting it because he's literally the only person there to do it. Everyone else is being like, where are the other Avengers? It's just Spider-Man. So there's sort of, takes something away from it as a film on that front, takes away from some of the gravitas of it. Now, fast forward to the very, very end, the first cutscene after the credits, after Spider-Man drops off Mary Jane, who never wants to, sorry, not Mary Jane, MJ, Michelle, whatever her name is, drops off MJ, and news flash, this controversial news site, the Daily Bugle. J.K. Simmons reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson, most exciting part of this film, hands down by far, and he goes ahead and reveals Spider-Man's identity, which is like the holy shit moment. And the cool thing about that is it's sort of bringing us into new territory. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but it's certainly interesting, and I do appreciate this departure from what we're used to. So, yeah, and in some ways it's interesting. I like that visual pairing. This is the one Iron Man-y relationship that I like here, which is like, the first Iron Man movie ends with Tony Stark revealing his own identity. This one ends with Peter Parker getting outed, and so it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how they deal with this moving forwards. This where we were at, I was like, MCU, but this moment they did a really nice job taking the scene and sparking my interest in future Spider-Man movies. So A+ them. Also J.K. Simmons back. Also J. Jonah Jameson is basically Alex Jones. I don't know how I feel about that, but it works. Like, on the one hand, I'm like, fuck Alex Jones, let's never mention him again. On the other hand, I'm like, this totally works, though. It really does, and so that's kind of exciting, and it'll be interesting. Favorite moment from the movie, aside from Edith, best joke, was the callback to Back in Black. I was just so excited. I was very excited in this movie theater. Because Happy, they're on the jet, and he's doing a little stepping into Tony's shoes moment, designing his suit and whatnot. And it was all of that was really like harkening back. It was unfair playing with your feelings, basically harkening back to the first Iron Man, being like, look, your Fifi's, let me just play around in them, haha. Not fair, cheating. I liked it. And so Happy's like, you worry about the suit, I'll worry about the music. And the second he said that, I was like, Back in Black, and I was so pleased. So that, I mean, there were moments. I mean, it was a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. You know, it's a good movie. You don't have to see it in theaters. You can wait till it comes out later, but it's worth taking a look at. You're not going to cringe too much, except for that bad writing scene. There's no identity politics. Marvel has not taken a sudden U-turn into wokeness. Oh, best part is the one time Captain Marvel's mentioned by name, Nick Fury is like, don't invoke that name, when he just shuts it down, like, no, we're not talking about her ever. So that was kind of fun. Anyway, those are my overall thoughts, impressions, feelings. Fifi is, go see it, you know, if you want, don't. If you don't, there's nothing offensive or horrible about it, so there's no reason not to on principle, I guess. But, you know, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy that scene at the end. The cutscene later that also is apparently Nick Fury, in this whole movie, Nick Fury was just a Skrull the whole time, which I didn't really like, because I was like, there are so many great Nick Fury moments that you just undercut, but I'm assuming this is going to be meaningful and relevant moving forwards, because Nick Fury is actually hanging out on the Skrull ship, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's all. That'd be my review. Super great review. Awesome review, as always. Woo! I'm just really tired, and I hope that I was made coherent sense. So if you enjoyed it, press the like button. If you didn't, I don't give a shit. Also, click on all of the buttons around here. There will be buttons in a second if they're not already. Jesse shot first, the greatest t-shirt you'll ever own. It's me as Han Solo. Come on, who couldn't want that? Better yet, Anna, that Star Wars girl, designed the artwork for it. So get this shirt. LA Cheesesteak Reviews, my amazing new show where me and my Philly friends go around LA talking about how terrible the cheesesteaks are. Super fun, lots of fun. Make sure you check that out. Subscribe so you see all our new episodes. Also, get involved with me. That will tell you everything you need to know about getting involved with this channel, helping it grow. Patreon, what else is on there? Teespring links, social media. I'm on Twitter at Jesse Milestone. On Instagram at Mindless Entertainment. PayPal, because YouTube likes to demonetize my videos. All of these things. Go do these things. And yeah, you guys are the best fans ever, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Get excited, tomorrow's Social Justice Wednesday. God Empress out!